I've had the same guy who cut my hair for the last 5 years. I absolutely love black coffee in the morning. So to give you an example of how I mix things up, if I'm working in A&E, hello, my name's Dr. Ash, and since we reached 2,000 subscribers, you've been submitting questions to me on Instagram, including medicine, how to successfully apply, success, what's the formula, morning routines, how do I fit everything into my day, and really weirdly, my hair. So let's dive in and answer them straight away. So question number 1 is, I have 3 weeks left to my UCAT, any advice? Yes, loads. Firstly, if you watch my playlist that I've made here, that gives you all the sections plus an exact map of how you should prepare if you're 3 weeks to 3 months out. We've actually had a lot of people applying to my one-on-one mentoring program in the last month to give them this sort of one-on-one advice as to how in the final stages they can really hone their skills for their UCAT. And just like I outlined in those videos there, giving you a guide for how to prepare, it goes in 3 stages. The first being you need to make sure you get the foundational skills. Then the second one is practicing questions. And then you need to slowly but surely crank up the intensity, doing lots of mock exams until you're exam ready. Do you do anything that gets you in the mood to perform well during the day? So I do have a philosophy for morning routines, and that is that morning routines are there to get you in the mood to do the thing that you have to do that day. So sometimes I'll wake up and actually I'll be completely ready to work and I'll actually be distracted by a morning routine. But then if I do actually decide to do a morning routine, it will depend on what sort of day I'm having. So to give you an example of how I mix things up, if I'm working in A&E, that will be one of the days where I don't intermittent fast because I really need to have my wits about me. If it kicks off with a patient and I really need to be on it there and then, I find that I'm a bit cloudy if I'm fasted, whereas if I've got a bit of glucose in me and I'm ready to kind of go with all my energy, I definitely perform better and treat the patient better in an emergency situation. So I usually try and wake up naturally, which for me is about 6:30, 7 a.m. First thing I do is drink a pint of water with a bit of salt in it, go outside to get a bit of sunlight in your eyes because that resets your body clock to make you go to sleep at the right time at night. I then meditate, either using an app or just completely unguided. Then after that, I'll do some pull-ups and push-ups to get the blood pumping, go and brush my teeth to have a little bit of a rest, and then go back and do another set. If I'm in the mood that day, I might write a short entry of a journal, and I'll do that at the same time as having a green juice. I particularly like Athletic Greens, which is a good brand. It's expensive, but it does taste good and makes me feel pretty good. I absolutely love black coffee in the morning, but I try and delay that for at least an hour after waking up. I then spend 90 minutes of deep focus on any work, studying, anything important that I have to prioritize for that day. And it's only after that 90 minutes that I try, if I can, to not look at my phone until that point in the day, where I give myself a few minutes to answer WhatsApp messages, have a look at what things I need to take care of for that particular day. After that, then I'll exercise. I usually prefer weight training. And then just before I eat lunch, I usually like to have some Brazil nuts and some kimchi. And then after that, I'll have lunch and then kind of have the rest of the day to do whatever I want. So that's a long bit about my morning routines. I don't know if that interests you at all, but maybe you might be able to find some of those things useful to implement in your life to help you feel good and on form for the day. For medicine, we also need to do volunteering, but due to the current situation, it's hard to get into hospital or GP for work experience. Or can you please tell me what type of experience now we can do that can enhance our application, whether it's online or something else? Yes, shadowing, particularly in hospital, has been difficult this year, but it also gives an opportunity for you to stand out from the rest. One of the main things that I'd say that you need to do this year is the virtual work experience, because we're in a weird situation where, despite in-person work experience being the best experience that you can get when it comes to medical school applications, the problem is now that everybody has had some sort of virtual work experience. And if you haven't, I definitely recommend that you get that, and here's why. So basically what's happened is that everybody who's done this virtual work experience has now gone through this formalized approach and this kind of course almost on what you should expect to learn from the hospital setting. And they've now gained that knowledge by explicitly being told that in a formalized way. And because of that, questions will naturally be asked around that sort of stuff that they expect people to know now. So even though still in-person work experience is by far the best experience you can get, you have a whole group of people now that are armed with this knowledge that they wouldn't have otherwise had. And that's what people are asking at interview. So that's why you need to make sure that you're competitive with them and up to the same standard of their knowledge by going on at least one of these virtual work experiences. When people join me on the FutureDoc Elite program, we kind of go through this in depth and I sit down with them and work out all the possible avenues that we can try and get some. And I can definitely say that lots of people on our course, nearly all of them, have managed to get some sort of in-person work experience as a result of these methods that we've tried. Do GCSEs really matter for medicine? How much emphasis do schools put on this? Well, the answer is it really depends. Each school has a very different policy of how they weight GCSEs and how they factor into their decision to invite someone to interview and offer them a place at their medical school. In fact, if you check out our blog, which I've linked in the description below, I've written a few articles about A, how to apply tactically, and B, which kind of medical schools value GCSEs, another article about which ones don't value GCSEs so much, and kind of what to do in each different situation. Another question that we got a lot of is, how do you fit everything in? The funny thing about fitting stuff in is, paradoxically, I actually find that I'm more productive on the days where I'm already super busy and have a lot to do, and I kind of have no other choice than to cram things in between whatever it is, whether that's going to work or having things to do or meetings or calls. When I have a busy day already, if it just gives me only 30 minutes to do something, it really focuses me and makes me just fit whatever I need to do and make sure I get it done in that time. I actually find that my most productive days are the days that I actually have a lot to do and maybe busy clinics and people to talk to, and actually just having those hard deadlines to fit it in between make me do it. And it drives me absolutely crazy because it's those days where I have nothing but time that I get absolutely nothing done and waste hours in front of the TV watching reruns of Friends. And that is probably where I'm giving my age away, because anyone who's probably under the age of 27 is wondering what the hell people are doing wasting their time watching Friends. And to be honest, so am I. And bizarrely, the final question that I seem to get a lot of is, what do I do for my hair and how do I get my hair to look the way it does? And to be honest, I think the answers might be a bit disappointing because they're very basic. I think the first is that I'm very lucky with genetics. The second is that I try not to wash it too often, so maybe 2 or 3 times a week max. I use a very simple product, which is VO5 matte clay, which is the kind of local one that you can get in any Sainsbury's local. And probably the final and most important thing is that it's really important to invest your time and money in finding a really good barber to cut your hair. I've had the same guy who cut my hair for the last 5 years, and he moved back to Italy a couple of months ago during lockdown, and since I've been at a complete loss. And it just so happens that he flew back to London a week ago to visit, and I pinned him down and said, you must cut my hair, because I've not been able to find anyone who comes anywhere near since. So that is the only reason why it's looking reasonable today. And one bit of advice that I got from an ex-girlfriend's dad who was bald was that you should invest the money and spend time on a good haircut, because you wouldn't think twice about spending 30, 40 pounds on a t-shirt that you maybe wear once or twice a month, but you wear your hair every single day. And I think from his part, there's a bit of kind of bald nostalgia where it's like, oh, if I had hair now, I would look after it so much. But he's got a point. It's something that you wear every day. So spending maybe 40 quid on a haircut every couple of months is probably worth it when you think about the use that you get out of that money. So I don't know if that was complete nonsense or any use to you whatsoever, or just me ranting about random inane things about my life. But I just want to say thank you for all the subscribers that have supported the channel. It really means a lot to us, and it is the best way that we can keep doing what we do. It's actually amazing seeing how quickly we've gone from when I did my 1,000 subscribers video here to getting here now to 2,000. We couldn't have done it without you, and if you want to continue to support the channel, please either ask a friend to subscribe, or if you haven't done already, hit the subscribe button yourself. But otherwise, I'll thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, that's not what I wanted to say.